And we're live on YouTube. We're we're live everywhere. We're live on YouTube. We're live on Instagram, and it's not even 9 o'clock. I pushed the buttons early. All right, Robert J. Conley here. I am here to give you something valuable, and pretty much your sanity in your life. I am going to tell you. Excuse me while I remove something. I am here to tell you about one of the most helpful books I've ever read. It's called The Power of When by Dr. Michael Breus. The Power of When. And just so everybody knows, if you're on YouTube, there are links down below to Amazon and also to Dr. Breus's chronotype test, which is a very helpful test. And just so everybody knows, I'm not getting paid. There's no endorsement. There's no money here. I'm sharing this because I found this book to be invaluable, and I think this book should be on the bestseller list every year till somebody comes out with something better, which I guess that always happens. All right, so I'm sitting here also admittedly kind of like violating some of the rules that I've learned and I've typically followed, but I'm kind of sleep deprived right now. But actually, by having read Dr. Breus's book, I also know how to get back on track very quickly. And it's only been a couple of days, and it's been a couple of fun days. It's amazing how much sleep deprivation you can handle when you're working with just really great, fun, smart people. It has its own energy. Anyway, I want to talk about just the essence of Dr. Breus's book and what I found valuable. And I think one of the reasons that I found this book valuable is that I'm an expert in personality type assessments, DISC, Myers-Briggs. I also am an expert in aptitude testing, and he uses a 4 types model, which helps us understand. Which helps each individual understand their particular type and what that means. So one of the first benefits is similar to what many people experience when they take the DISC assessments or the Myers-Briggs typology assessments, is that all of a sudden, especially if you have felt like an outlier all your life, all of a sudden you go, oh, okay, I'm unique, but I'm not alone. I fit into this group. And, oh, by the way, this is how I can make my life work. And so that's the first very powerful thing, is that you start to see these elements. So I'll tell you a few for me. Number one, I'm doing this show live at 9 p.m. every weeknight. And why is it at 9 p.m.? I mean, frankly, I don't think there are that many people around. It's midnight in the East Coast. It's 9 o'clock here. But it is what Dr. Breus identifies as like my socialization time from 9 to 11. So I have really good energy. I love doing this. And so it is predicated on my energy. And the beauty of modern technology is that it allows me to record these, and then they stay up and anybody can watch them anytime. So this time frame is all about when my energy is best. The other thing that was good for me was, so I categorize, he's got lions, bears, wolves, and dolphins. If you were taking an intelligence test, it's like, okay, which of these 4 doesn't belong? At any rate, so I'm called a wolf, and one of the other characteristics of wolves is that our brains pretty much don't fully kick in until about 11 a.m. So his recommendation is that wolves go to bed around midnight and get up around actually first alarm at 7, second alarm at 7:20, and then get up and do all these different things, and then around 11 your brain will be highly functioning. So that's another thing that has changed for me, is that I like do chores and kind of mindless stuff the first hour or 2 that I'm up, and it's a great warm up for the day. And you might think, well, why don't you just go work out? And it's like, well, actually, the good doctor doesn't recommend I work out at that time. So I have found this to be tremendously helpful, and I am hopeful that other people can too. So that I keep harping on this issue. I have the last few episodes, and that is the whole thing of think of your life in terms of that you've been dealt a hand of cards, like in poker, and think in terms of changing out cards. And it's not totally like poker, but change them out one at a time. And so, one of the first things that I would recommend you do is get this book and start mastering the sleep techniques, because you're going to have more energy and effectiveness throughout the day. But I want to also say something, having worked with people who are very dissatisfied in their jobs. It will help you, but there may be some stuff. You might still have tons of sleepless nights and anxiety. If you're in a job that you really hate, the first thing you've got to do is make that change. And you've got to make it, you got to make the change in accordance with who you are and what your fundamental metabolism is. So there's a link down below, as I mentioned earlier, to take the What's My Chronotype test. And that will inform you about your fundamental characteristics. And doctor provides an overview of what that means. And that'll get you started. That's like your first little card to trade out in your poker hand. Finally, just the overall or general benefits are, recommendations on when's the best time for your type to work, eat, play, socialize, work out. And it's all about rhythm. It's all about consistency. And, there's a set of people out there telling you that, if you don't get up at 4:30 in the morning, you're never going to amount to anything. And, just all this crazy stuff. And, well, let me retract that. It's not crazy. It works for a very small percentage of the population. 5 hours of sleep a night works for a very small percentage of the population. Top performers get plenty of sleep, especially in athletics. I mean, you follow any top performer, they're getting 10 to 12 hours of sleep. Now, in the case of normal people just working normal jobs, it's probably 7 to 8. But the bottom line is that you need your sleep. If you're getting 4 hours of sleep a night, you are just digging a hole for yourself. And it's just, it doesn't get better on its own. So get Dr. Bruce's book. It's also available, on Audible. Watch his videos and become a student of good sleep. It's one of the absolute best things you can do for yourself. All right. That's what I've got. I'll have something valuable for you tomorrow. I'm Robert J. Conley.